Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Stasis. And our next course of action is, well, first of all, I might as well check the computer terminal if you want to actually check on it. There's a report. The Vaporizer, the perfected Mark V model of the Kane Corporation Trans-State Modifier. Using advanced and unique molecularization technology, the vaporizer has the ability to shift a targeted substance between gas, liquid, and solid states, without any of the structural breakdown seen in objects shifted between states on a regular basis. The Mark V is the latest model, but it hasn't yet been rolled into mass production because of the current difficulty fueling the vaporizer with resources on board the Groom Lake. Recent experiments undertaken were more than satisfactory, and it passed the Kane safety and security test with no adverse effects causing harm to the user observed. It has been graded level 4 because of the specific nature of its technology and the limited quantity of existing vaporizers. During an experiment recently carried out on the royal jelly produced by hydroponics, Dr. Gray and other observers commented on the remarkable speed at which the jelly was transformed into gas, thus placating their insect population. Okay then. How to close the thing? Back, thank you. And I don't think the vaporizer doesn't do anything yet beyond that. Okay, good. Now, the next course of action that I should take, apparently, and again, I'm consulting a walkthrough at least for a few steps, like before an episode, because otherwise I can't beat this game. It's just not gonna happen. So I'm curious to see where the story goes, and that's why we're here. So, actually, I'm not completely sure which way to go in here, so I'll just try on the right. Okay. Well, hello. So I'm here, and there's a bunch of insects here. I don't think this is a good spot to be just yet, because the insects are very, very, very aggressive, as we learned, I think, from the...
Some sort of insect.
Keep your distance.
It's tied up. Doesn't look like it can get loose.
Tied up? How big is it?
Big.
Righto. Okay, so, and red smiley! Yay, cool! Great! Okay, so, can I read the computer? Okay, hydroponics queen chamber. Reports. The queen's life cycle, week 93. Monday, healthy, docile, responsive to stimuli, milking as normal. Tuesday, no activity. Wednesday, healthy, heightened aggression. Recommended milking with only experienced staff. Thursday, no activity. Friday, healthy, highly aggressive, 3 personnel wounded in milking. Saturday, healthy, quiet. Unusual brooding behavior, milking normal. Sunday, healthy, aggressive, 1 fatality via venom pouches. So, you know, deaths everywhere, you know, no biggie. Okay, so, I think the first course of action is... Actually, let's see the personal logs, because I need the lore. Akiza Tenshu, February 20th. Oh, praise God Almighty. I couldn't be happier. Dr. Gray told me to... Dr. Gray took me to one side and told me that I was the only person who had the skill and ability to take control of the nursery. He promoted me on the spot and said that I was now personally responsible for the queen. Dr. Gray took me to one side and told me... One side. I think you mean took me aside. and told me. It's weird. It's like there's not a lot of like. There's just every once in a while in these lore things there are just wrong words, and sometimes they're missing whole words. Not super often, but enough to just be a kind of a consistent issue. It's weird. The royal jelly that she produces has proven to be incredibly useful. I discovered through my own analysis that not only is the jelly an essential nutrient for the insect population, but that it has other amazing physical properties too. It accelerates molecular bonding in certain substances, acting as a thickener for many natural substances while also regenerating their natural properties. With some engineering, I imagine we could turn this into a true medical breakthrough. I imagine doctors in hospital wards on Earth using our bonding agent to heal wounds instantly. Perhaps finally the Tenshu name will be revered in medical history instead of reviled. March 10th. The Queen is a temperamental little thing. A fiery lady to be sure. Ah, but Queenie, you forget, I grew up in a family with more than one fire-breathing dragon. If I can handle my mother, I can certainly handle you. Ha! Although, when she is milked, she's rather docile. I dare say she's rather attached to me. I'm sure I heard her purring at me. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm aware that she's a bug and all, but it sounded rather like approval. My parents kept hives of bees, so I've never been squeamish over insects, and I can tell the difference between aggression and favor. I'm still the only person who can get close without being bitten, and her bite can leave one hell of a mark, let me tell you. Hodgkins said he'll report his side effects upon his return from sick leave. In other news, Dr. Murik, one of Dr. Dre's subordinates, has requested samples of the jelly for experiments with his tree resins. He thinks it might have a use as an industrial adhesive. It is a little way from my original intention, but I do suppose it's a start. August 12th. I try so hard to be positive, to be the person whose enthusiasm never once flags or fails. But when you start hearing rumors that appall you to your very core, I try to shrug it off, but recently it's become harder to deny it. I have been hearing sounds from the elevator shafts, the sound of a wailing infant crying out in pain before suddenly being silenced. That is no rumor. Sometimes I lay awake at night, and I swear I can hear the crying of children. I can't be dreaming. I saw Ingracia to confess my fears. He gave me a prescription to help me sleep, but something in his eyes said that he knew I was hearing something real, and worse, it was something he was hearing too. More rumors. Dr. Malan is using children in his research. I have to ignore it. If it were true, Kane would remove him immediately. Surely. Even Dr. Gray appears to find it an uncomfortable subject for discussion, and this is a man who slept easily when Isaac got his left cheek torn off by the Queen. September 22nd. Is Dr. Gray short of staff again? Once again I'm being forced to manage multiple projects, only this time it's an examination of an acutely destructive new spore that seems to have infected a few of the pods. First observations, it's a parasitic fungus that grows faster than a common weed, and like a common weed, I feel it should be destroyed, but I know that Dr. Gray won't do it. He, like many of the other senior doctors, sees any new species as something to be exploited or weaponized. Again, the writing says sees any new species as something to exploited or weaponized. It's missing the to be exploited. It's weird. It's sort of like people proofread these texts to avoid typos, but they missed out on whole full words which don't come up as the red squiggly lines in Microsoft Word or whatever they were using. That's it bugs me at least. October 31st. In the darkness, something stirs. I can't say what. I'm too afraid to find out what it is. When Ivan and Theo disappeared a month back, we assumed they'd somehow deserted. That was the official stance taken by Dr. Malan and the board, anyway. Last night's events proved that there is something on board with us, though God knows where it's from. The Queen was more rambunctious than I've seen her before, and milking her was certainly more challenging than I'm used to. Edmund was assisting. We've been short on staff, and some of our volunteers are simply refusing to show for work. The Queen's environment has been disturbed a great deal, and so her violent tendencies are more pronounced. Edmund was on his way out of hydroponics when it happened. Something pulled him into one of the air ducts. I didn't see much. I saw him walking toward the decontamination chamber, and the next moment his legs were kicking in the air as whatever it was dragged him up and into the ceiling while he squealed like a pig. I'm resigning tomorrow. I did not sign up for mad science. I came to Kane to serve humanity and clear my family's name, not watch my crewmates be slaughtered by a species that Dr. Malan refuses to confirm or deny. December 3rd. If only I'd resigned when I said I would, and if only they hadn't ignored my demands to have the infernal fungus destroyed. It's growing over me now, over my skin. It's burrowing into my flesh. Yikes. The insects attacked again today, and it seems to only worsen. Dr. Gray was destroyed by a swarm of them. And now he is only fertilizer for that ever-ravenous mold he was so curious about. The uninfected are making an attempt to escape. This doesn't include me. The emergency flares keep the bugs away. I told them to give me the flare to hold back the bugs, so they could get away. I hope they escape soon. This fungus is making my head feel funny. I'm sure I can feel it growing through my ear canal. Oof. Oh boy, that doesn't sound too fun, does it? Well. The emails then, from Dr. Gray to Dr. Atenshu, foolish pranks. Azaka, with the greatest respect, could you please stop the ridiculous pranks your group insist on carrying out in the fertilization chambers? I will admit that they are hardly dangerous, but they're undignified. I certainly wouldn't like to be present when a Kane inspector stumbles upon young Theodore racing in front of the Queen, hands above his head while shouting, "I'm covered in bees." It is unprofessional. Please instruct them to cease their foolishness at once. Kind regards, Dr. Gray. Also, a grammar point again, or, could you please stop the ridiculous pranks your group insist on? While usually in plural, I think insist is the correct way, but a group as a word isn't plural. Group versus groups. So group insists on, not group insist on. Again, I'm not a native English speaker and this bugs me still. Oh boy, okay. From Dr. E.F. Way to Dr. Atenshu, a matter of spirit. Akiza, don't worry, I don't think that you're losing your mind. Ghosts are a possibility, but I suspect what you're hearing is perhaps the sounds of devices playing in other parts of the ship. I do believe at the moment that the corporeal world and spirit world are very much divided. So try to calm yourself. If you would like I can talk to someone in cargo storage about those sounds, but I wouldn't worry about it. This island is full of noises, but pay them no mind. For once I'm quoting Shakespeare and not the Bible. Go get some sleep and maybe do fewer night shifts, Eleanor. Okay then, there we are. And I believe we're good here. Although, wait, just a hot second. I feel like there was a pumping or whatever thing in there. There. Activate suction pumps. There we are. Which gives me milk of whatever. Milk collection pad. Can you please just, again, Gives me... come on. Queen's milk. Yay, I've always wanted milk from a thing that looks like that. That's very... Yay. Cool beans. Okay, so... The next course of action is apparently to try to... Okay, so if I interact with this queen, I'll die. Very simply. Unless I do it at the exact correct moment. Which I'm hoping will... Which is apparently correspond with the red smiley face. When that happens, I should try to interact with the queen. Now. Because obviously, right?
That was too close.
I agree. But yeah, again, it's like, you know, well, there's this massive monster. If you touch the monster, which you can interact with, you die. Unless you just go out on a blind stab in the dark to interact with it during a smiley face thing that's red. Sure, and then you pull out the claw because obviously you do that. It's the first instinct you have when you see a queen monster. Yes, sure. And then I need to use the queen pincer on hardened amber, the yellow stuff on the corner there. There we are, because obviously, and this should give me, when I interact with a tree sap. Why do I want tree sap? Well, doesn't everyone just want tree sap just in their pockets when they're going around? It just makes you feel happy about your life choices, you see, yes. Right, okay, well. And then we go back to the room with the other computers where we have this stuff. So... There was this metal plaque on the wall. Again, it's not as tiny and quite as obscure as the blood tissue, which was boy, but it's still like there's no indication of just, hey, go do this, unless you just scan the entire room until you find the interactable thing. It's like, okay, now the metal plaque needs to be apparently combined with the tree sap because yes. Metal plaque with sap. Good. And that then needs to be used on the cracked glass, I believe, in the glass tube in front of us over there, which is the... Right. It just so happens that metal plaque has the shape that makes the glass tube airtight. Sure. Right. Okay. Good. I would be here till the end of my days with this game. Seriously. Like, what? Sure. Okay. Now. Then I need to actually use the milk of the queen, which we got because we need to have queen's milk. Much like if you've seen the... at this point, the newest like mainline Star Wars movie, the number 8, the what was it called again? The Last Jedi? Yeah, you know, have this weird alien milk because it's just good. Yes, okay, good, yay. There we are. And then we need to activate the vaporizer thing. There we are. And I pick up, just let me read it. It's vaporized queen pheromone. Which comes from its milk apparently, but okay, sure, let's just go with it. Because isn't pheromone a different... I suppose it could come from the same body part, sure, but... I still feel the pheromone shouldn't be a mix with the milk, but then again, it's an alien insect. What do I know? Yep. That's a fair point. So yeah. Okay, and that is the way that we deal with these insects in this room. Because if I try to walk through here, I'll die. And again, I don't want to keep dying because the game has proven before that it does it doesn't really auto save, and I don't want to keep just manual saving on and on and just we've seen enough deaths hopefully for one playthrough already. But fast spinning fan is where we need to throw this vaporized pheromone into. Which causes them to be sucked into the fan. Which, it's not an illogical thing when you have the pheromone. It's like, oh, okay, I suppose it makes kind of sense, but sure. And then we need to collect the oxygen tanks.
Oxygen levels increasing.
Oh, sorry, not collect. I mean open, right.
Oxygen levels increasing to dangerous levels.
All dangerous, schmangerous, we're fine.
Oxygen levels pose a fire hazard. CSEC has been notified.
Doesn't oxygen levels, technically speaking, always cause a fire hazard in oxidized spacecrafts? Because that's how fire works. Oh well. Also,
It's beautiful.
The oxygen garden's my favourite part of any ship. Green, full, natural.
and with lots of skulls and corpses. Yes, very, very good, very nice. Okay, body engulfed in vines. I can pick up what is apparently a emergency flare. Yay, can we ask for help from the space police? Okay. And next up, let's see here. There should be a way forward. Oh. It's less apparent than I thought it would be, but okay. Here we are. Now. We have found a person. Hello. My name is Creostix, and you have a conundrum, I think. It looks like. Ouch. Yeah. Do I PDA first, or do I need to talk to you first? Because I just... Yep, it's the PDA of the person on there, because it's Eleanor. Let's see here. I think this is the exact same... Oh, sorry. Right. From Dr. S. Gray to Dr. E.F. Way. Meal. Dr. Way, your comments are most flattering. I suspect, however, that a promotion isn't forthcoming because of the lack of attention paid to our section. Ignorance is frustrating. Our lack of understanding of what it takes place at the top of this food chain is of great irritation to me. You do seem to be pushing relentlessly for information about this cargo, though, and I'm somewhat uncomfortable discussing it any further. I fear I may already have said too much. For the sake of your career, my dear, I'd suggest discontinuing your pursuit. You're a fine geneticist and are clearly one of the most talented people on the ship. Don't let it go to waste, Sebastian. And from Dr. A. Tenshu to Dr. E.F. Way, a matter of spirit. Dr. Way, I know that you are a spiritual woman and at times receive a great deal of criticism from this, but I feel I can speak to nobody else. I'm well known for my positivity and I know how words work, yes. Cheerfulness, and I believe I've earned my nickname Dr. Grace Smile. I am haunted by what I'm hearing on this ship, and I wonder if perhaps it's merely induced by my own fears. Oh, to hell with it. I'll ask you straight. Do you believe in ghosts? You may think that I'm being ridiculous or delusional, but I can hear things. Children crying deep in the bowels of the ship. I work many late nights, and I'm convinced that I can hear crying through the vents. Where are these sounds coming from? Did I hear rumors that before the Groom Lake was refitted, I did hear rumors. A group of children were brought on board and their quarters were on this deck. There was a malfunction with the heating units and, well, they all died. I don't want to seem like I'm wasting your time, but I enjoyed our talk yesterday and your open-mindedness about matters of the soul. Kind regards, Akiza. Well then. Let's see here. Now we have the log files, or the, journal entries. So, from Eleanor, January 19th. The Lord is gracious and merciful, slow to anger and great in loving kindness. The Lord is good to all. I simply wish his kindness had extended to Chelsea. The galley chef told me that a few of the other crew members are uncomfortable with having an ARG patient on staff. I asked if her work was in any way below standard, at which point he grew uncomfortable and admitted exactly as I thought, no, she was a superb worker, but his team were uncomfortable with her anyway. Being a geneticist and a Christian may appear contradictory to most, but that is their burden, not mine. I believe in grace and mercy. It wasn't Chelsea's fault. She was born an ARG baby. James, my ex-husband, blamed me. James wanted her terminated, and when I refused, he packed up and left. That suits me. I'd rather be without an unloving husband and father than without my beautiful child. And she is. She is beautiful, a gift from God, and from a ship full of the most supposedly forward-thinking people in the galaxy. Their aversion to her condition repulses me. March 20th. Tolerance and patience are virtues greatly praised by the Lord, but aboard the Groom Lake I find my stories of both these virtues sorely tested. I discovered through one of my subordinates that a new shipment arrived on board a few days ago, destined for Project Seed. My disapproval of the dangers of Seed are no secret, considering the size of the shipment and the clear attempt to cut me out of the loop regarding the delivery. I suspect some of my colleagues are trying to mask the precise nature of what it is that has arrived. If it is as I suspect, there will be no, and I mean no, lengths I will not go in order to depose Dr. Malan. Kane Corporation is a company for the promotion of the sciences, not for the sinister schemes and unprincipled ambitions of individuals. I have moral issues with Kane and their weapons research. It tests my faith, but Kane's medical breakthroughs have changed the world and my world too. It's because of Kane-created research that Chelsea is even alive. This is why I do what I do. I work in genetics to find cures for my dearest Chelsea and others like her, not for money. It's my job to put things right for her. May 21st. I had lunch with Dr. Gray this afternoon. He is an odious little man and utterly misanthropic, but if you need somebody to talk about Project Seed, then there are few people who give up information more easily. His ego easily outweighs his sense of confidentiality. Project leaders and project members are not allowed to discuss details of individual projects, but he can't resist himself. Nevertheless, he revealed disturbing details. I'm aware of our sample origins. We need human genetic material in order to develop cures for human beings. It's a hard truth. But there's paperwork, permission forms, and contracts that create this supply. That shipment has none of these things. September 25th. Their children. O God, in all your great mercy, how could you let Malan, that unholy monster, do this? It's taken months, but finally I found a young cargo worker named Danica Boxer. She was referred to me by Dr. Tenshu, such a sweet girl. It seems the cargo was a combination of adults and children, all of whom were acquired through illegal channels for use in genetic research. I did not agree to this. I'll leave this place and take Chelsea with me before I spend 1 minute more working for a company that endorses the use of children in research. There are not enough words to describe the soulless creature that did this. Revenge? I don't believe in revenge. Beloved, never avenge yourself, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. November 26th. Where is she? The creatures are attacking in full force. The screams are over the radio. They're dying. They're all dying. I hear them scuttle through the vents, see the blood they spill and spray over the walls. Chelsea, Chelsea. Oh God, please bring her to me. I'm trapped in hydroponics. Please let my little girl find me. December 9th. Voice note. I can see Chelsea inches from me, lifeless. I contemplated taking my own life as she died just before my eyes. When those creatures attacked, the crew sealed off parts of the ship and I was left trapped in hydroponics. That fungus got to me and now it's inside, profaning my body. Its nerves wrapped around my cerebral cortex. I can feel it move. I try to move my arms, but it won't let me. It's making me watch the fungus consume my baby girl. I must watch and pray for the end to come, so then it does not depend on the man who wills or the man who runs, but on God who has mercy. How? Well, that explains why it's a voice note, although it's, not voiced, which is a little... Oh well. But it's, not by any means, out of the question to have the PDA recognize voice and then just write it out. It's perfectly fine. I think, not uncommon these days, even in some machines. Anyway, so here we are then. So here's the thing. I'm already over time on the episode, and I got a feeling this will result in something that'll take more time and be a whole spectacle. So I'm gonna do that the first thing next episode. Boy, that looks disturbing. Okay, well, but I do hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have, please do drop a like or a comment or even subscribe or share if you want to. It would really, really help. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time.